I hate it. They know how to play the system. You can't really fault them for it, but you can still hate on it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back, everybody. Skywalking Wetz, boy Wetz here. Hey, breaking down the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. I'm picking the two teams that I believe they're going to make the NBA Finals. And before we get there, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, shoot, even leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you agree with what I say, if you don't. I had a cat on Instagram saying, hey, you talk too much. Maybe if you didn't talk as much, you'd get more viewers. How does that make sense? But if that's what you think, let me know. That's all I want to know. Western Conference, we just had game one just now. Spurs took a 1-0 lead on the Oklahoma City Thunder, aka the Oklahoma City Floppers, aka the Oklahoma City Foul Baiters. San Antonio looked great. Wemby looked exceptional. That stuff went double OT. On the Eastern Conference side, we got the New York Knicks versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think that could be an excellent series. I got to right my wrongs here. I definitely doubted the Cleveland Cavaliers. I didn't think they would make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I doubted the ability of James Harden and Donovan Mitchell to win big games, and guess what? They dominated the Detroit Pistons in Game 7 last night, and they looked pretty dang good. James Harden didn't have his best game, but Donovan Mitchell, boy oh boy, did Donovan Mitchell look good last night. Boy oh boy, did Jarrett Allen look good last night. And watching that game last night, I realized how good, and I noted this, and I said on paper, the Cleveland Cavaliers look really good, but just overall, they're a really good team, and I think they're going to give the New York Knicks a really good series. It makes you question if, going into 7 games, back-to-back series will take its toll, especially in this series against the New York Knicks. I guess we just have to see. We have to see how it plays out. So I'm going to start in the Eastern Conference. New York Knicks versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Knicks haven't won a ring since what, the 70s? The Cavs obviously won a ring in 2016 with LeBron James, but this is the first time they've made a finals without LeBron James. Ever? Have they made a finals without LeBron James? Maybe a long time ago. I can't remember. This is huge. It's fun to see. It's good to see. Donovan Mitchell looked excellent. He looked excellent last night. I can't remember how many points he had or what his stat line essentially was, but a cat like Jarrett Allen, huge Game 7 performance. But in this series, on the other hand, you got Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. You got some dogs on the other side of the court there. And at the end of the day, I think what it's going to come down to is who can stop who. Both teams have offensive firepower. Both teams can put points on the board. Both teams have guys who can play great defense. I think the Cavaliers have great rim protectors, Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. The New York Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns can definitely protect the rim, but they also have OG Anunoby, a guy who can really guard on ball. Mikal Bridges, who can really guard on ball. Those two guys, I would assume, are going to take the primary responsibilities for James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. But it makes you wonder who's Jalen Brunson going to guard? Is it going to be just post him up on Max Strus? But guess what's going to happen? Come set that screen, get the switch. Jalen Brunson's now guarding James Harden. Jalen Brunson's now guarding Donovan Mitchell on the perimeter. And so I think that's what the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to look for, and what the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to try to do is trying to expose him in the pick and roll, Cat in the pick and roll. Cat does decent in the pick and roll, but I think Jalen Brunson is going to be the primary target for, those superstars on the wings for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But they've already gotten this far with Jalen Brunson being a defensive liability or whatever. I'd say serviceable, but just very undersized, right? But you got guys who can help him out. So when I really think about this series, I think personally, I think the New York Knicks get this one done. I think the Knicks win in 6. Ooh, Knicks in 6. And then all of New York's going to be going, go New York, go New York, go New York, go New York, go. You're going to be seeing cats on the street signs, on the street lights, pulling poles down. The city's going to burn on fire if they go to the NBA Finals. You can only imagine what the city's going to do if they win the NBA Finals. I was talking with my boy Zacchaeus, and he thinks the Knicks are the biggest threat to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, but we'll get to that here in a second. I think the biggest threat to the Thunder is who they're playing right now. But anyways, I think to take into consideration, the Cavs have played back-to-back 7-game series. They're going to get 1 or 2 days rest. I think they're playing on Wednesday. They're going to get 1 or 2 days rest, and then they're going to play a relatively rested New York Knicks squad. And this is big. I think this is big for Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. If they don't get this done, I would expect the New York Knicks to ship out. I would say they're going to keep Brunson, but I think they will look at trade destinations for Karl Anthony Towns. I think with the Cleveland Cavaliers, regardless of what happens, I think their season is a success. James Harden's getting a little older, but for them to get to the conference finals, I think that's huge. There's some really good teams in the East. I think the East is back personally from where it 5, years ago or so, the East wasn't as strong as it is now, in my opinion, especially 10 years ago when LeBron was making his 5, 6, 7 NBA Finals runs in a row. But I think the Cavaliers are very capable of winning this series. I could be totally wrong, but I think, again, I think the New York Knicks are destined. It would be cool to see James Harden make an NBA Finals. Donovan Mitchell, I'd be a little salty about because people think he's better than Devin Booker, and I don't think he is better than Devin Booker. But they have the roster to make a run, and I think they have a decent roster to match up well with whoever comes out of the West. Whoever comes out of the West, in my opinion, is going to win the NBA Finals. But I'm just going to go Knicks in 6. That's where I stand on it. Let's go Knicks in 6, and we'll see what happens. I was wrong. I was wrong on the Cavs. I've been wrong multiple times, but I'm going to go Knicks in 6. Don't call me a hater. It is what it is. I think the New York Knicks are destined. I'm not a Knicks fan. I am a New York Yankees fan, but I'm not a Knicks fan. And we'll see if I eat my words. But when we look at the Western Conference now, we got the Thunder versus the Spurs. We got Wemby and the boys versus Shea and the boys, a.k.a. the Oklahoma City Floppers, a.k.a. the Oklahoma City Losers, okay? I know they won a ring, but in my eyes, they're still the Oklahoma City Losers because they flop so much. And it's not just Shea. And I think Shea is kind of the guy who obviously the face of the franchise, but I just can't stand watching the Thunder sometimes. They're so dang good. I'm not saying the Thunder aren't good. They're really, 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 really good. But I hate it. They know how to play the system. You can't really fault them for it, but you can still hate on it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, the San Antonio Spurs won in double overtime, 122-115. And it was an excellent game. It was a great game. Two teams who really wanted the defending NBA champions at home against Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and De'Aaron Fox didn't even play tonight. Which is something to look at. Okay. De'Aaron Fox brings a lot to the San Antonio Spurs, and so it makes you wonder, what they look like against the Thunder. I guess we already know what they look like against the Thunder because I believe the Spurs beat the Thunder 3 out of 4 games in the regular season and really dominate. I can't say dominated, but obviously they beat the Thunder like 3 times in like a 2-3 week span, a month span. And yeah, but De'Aaron Fox being out game 1 and the Spurs still winning is a great sign for the San Antonio Spurs because I don't think De'Aaron Fox coming back really hurts anyone. Stephon Castle had a monster game tonight. What did he have? He had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists. Dang, he had 11 turnovers with a plus-minus of -1. But Wembanyama had an amazing game. He had 41 points, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 24 rebounds on 14 for 25 shooting, 12 for 13 from the free throw line with a plus-minus of +16. Wembanyama, he wants it, dude. He hates Chet. Him and Chet have this rivalry. They've never publicly said they call it a rivalry, but these boys, I would say Wembanyama's very territorial when it comes to the sense of being compared to Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren's a great player, but he's obviously not on Victor Wembanyama's level. But he did have a huge block, I think, at the end of regulation to send it to overtime or double overtime on Wembanyama. So that was huge. Chet tonight had 8 points, 2 for 7 shooting, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, plus-minus of -7. So obviously you can't compare the two. Wemby's just a freak, but I would expect Chet to have a better game going down the road. Shea tonight had 24 points, 3 rebounds, 12 assists, 5 steals, 4 turnovers, plus-minus of -15, -15 on 7 of 23 shooting. J-Dub's first game back had 26 points. But the Thunder are the Thunder, dude. They're going to have guys show up. Alex Caruso had 31 points tonight. I was debating with a buddy of mine last night in the airport in Kansas City. Zach Tallis, he said, who's more valuable to, and this doesn't look good for me, but he said, who's more valuable to the Thunder, Lou Dort or Alex Caruso, and who do you re-sign if you had to pick one of the two? I said Lou Dort, and Lou Dort tonight had 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and that was it. 4 personal fouls. Tried to take some guys' legs out, just kidding. But Caruso had a great game. He had a great game. So it makes you wonder who's more valuable to the team. I don't know. But when it comes to this series, it's a hard one to choose, but I want the Spurs to win, and I'm gonna go San Antonio Spurs in 6 or 7. I think the Thunder. This is the one of the teams, if not the only team in the NBA that can beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if the Spurs don't do it in this series, I think the Thunder are gonna two-peat. And so I'm gonna go with San Antonio Spurs, fellas and gals. If I have any gals watching, I'm gonna go San Antonio Spurs, and here's why. I think Victor Wembanyama is obviously not an X factor. He is the guy that nobody can guard, nobody can match up well with. He takes up so much space on the court on both ends. He just has so much gravity. He has so much gravity. Obviously, Shea just got his second MVP that was announced like 2 days ago or yesterday or whatever it may be. But I think Victor Wembanyama is the true MVP of the NBA. I think he is. He's the Defensive Player of the Year, and he outplayed the MVP. But here's what's going to happen. Game 2, I would expect Shea to have a big game. I would expect Shea to have a big game and the Thunder to even the series. This isn't going to be easy for the San Antonio Spurs. I think that, at the end of the day, the Spurs match up really well. From Stephon Castle to De'Aaron Fox to Devin Vassell, Julian Champagnie, Dylan Harper looked good tonight. He had 24 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 steals. Then you got a guy like Carter Bryant, the rookie, coming off the bench, Keldon Johnson coming off the bench, and Luke Cornett coming in every now and then. He doesn't really do much, but he's just giving Wembanyama some breathers. Harrison Barnes, a vet, I would expect him to have some moments and step up, but I think the San Antonio Spurs match up the best against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I'm gonna go San Antonio Spurs in 6 or 7. Then we're gonna see the New York Knicks versus San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. And if that's what the NBA Finals is, the Spurs are gonna be NBA champions. I think whoever comes out of the East is really gonna struggle against either the Thunder or the Spurs. I think the Cavaliers, obviously going back to that series, I think the Cavaliers can definitely beat the Knicks. Maybe the Knicks are cursed. I think we talked about that last year. But at the end of the day, I'm going Knicks and Spurs to advance to the NBA Finals. And you guys just let me know what you think. And you made it this far, let me know. Stay tuned on my Instagram, post a little more content on there, short content, game breakdowns, things like that after games, whatnot. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree. I think the Thunder can definitely win the series. I think the Cavs can definitely win the series, but I'm gonna have to go Knicks and Spurs, obviously. Said about 1,000 times at this point. So I'm gonna bounce out of here. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you agree, let me know. If you don't like and subscribe, you're gonna find me anyways. That's just how this works out. I'm inevitable. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good night.